Welcome to Aligned and Abundant, the podcast where authenticity meets practicality, compassion, alignment, and abundance. I'm your host, Christine Marcario, and I help you slow down, become more mindful, improve your mental and emotional health, and live life on your highest timeline. Together, we'll talk strategy, life lessons, and share inspiring stories of people who have overcome obstacles, grown through their pain, and risen above adversity. If you are looking for divine inspiration rooted in love and light, paired with practical tools and encouragement, you're in the right place at the right time. From one heart to another, you are an amazing and divine soul with a purpose. Take my hand and let's walk this path together. On today's episode of Aligned and Abundant, I would like to have a serious conversation in regards to your joy and your happiness. I was recently on a Zoom call this week, and there was a woman who shared that she has not felt joy or happiness in months. And honestly, it really surprised me that someone could express and share that they didn't feel like they had felt joy or happiness in months, because to hear that, it was just completely heartbreaking. And she is a mom, she has little children at home, but she just feels so overwhelmed with life that she really is struggling to find joy and happiness in her life overall and in her everyday actions. So it really got me thinking, and it made me reflect on times when I have either gone into a depression or have just had the types of weeks, months where you just feel like you are just going, and you don't really have the time or really the headspace to just be thankful, find joy in the little things, and feel happiness and contentedness. And it really got me reflecting on what is the point of our lives if we can't figure out how to experience joy. Now, on one hand, we do need to experience the opposite of joy so that we can recognize how good it is and how wonderful it does feel. So, we do need to experience sadness. It's like a yin and a yang. We need to experience both sides. But at the end of the day, I don't think that any of us are here because we want to have a sorrowful, sad life. It made me think about how many years I spent in a position that was no longer making my heart feel fully satisfied. And that is why I have taken the brave leap in starting my own business as a life coach, launching this podcast. I am doing so much work on myself. I am in Kathy Heller's coaching program. I am working with other coaches. I have signed up for some therapeutic healing sessions. And of course, I do Reiki on myself and tune into my spirit team, God, source. I feel like I am doing all the things, and I have noticed a profound difference in my outlook on life and how I feel every day. And don't get me wrong, every day is not rainbows and butterflies. It can be a struggle dealing with the thoughts that creep in. But the thoughts that creep in when you are making a significant change are just part of the way that we are designed. Your brain wants to keep you safe. That's its job. It is literally just doing its job. So it's going to do whatever it can to keep you in situations that feel familiar, because familiarity equals safety. And again, your brain's job is to keep you safe. But there comes a point where you need to just keep pushing. And by pushing, I actually mean the opposite. The book that I'm currently reading, Kathy Heller's Abundant Ever After, which, by the way, comes out in soft copy on the magical date of 11/11, and that did not happen by any other way than by universal magic. Anyway, it says that change comes from 90% identity. And what that means is, and what I'm learning is to slow down, because when you can slow down and be more present, then more clarity comes. And additionally, clarity does not come from thinking. The more that you sit there and think and think and think, you are putting so much pressure on yourself, and it probably isn't helping. So, what I am learning to do and what I am sharing with you is the importance of slowing down, being present, spending uninterrupted time with your children, looking them in the eyes, not doom scrolling on your phone while you're watching a family movie, and just doing things that make you feel better, doing things that the version of you whom you want to become would do. And not only just the doing, but the being. So the embodiment part. This is where the most action actually happens, when you are feeling full embodiment of any feeling that you want to call into your life. When you are feeling happiness or bliss or joy or gratitude, and you are truly slowing down to pause in that moment and take it in, that is when the magic starts to happen. Because again, the law of attraction, we attract what we are. So when we are sending out these signals into the world by means of our thoughts, that is sending out an energetic vibration. And then the universe matches us. If we keep stressing over, I hate this job, I can't stand so and so, and you're asphyxiating on these things, then you are going to have more instances where you are going to be triggered, you are going to be annoyed, you are going to be met with either that person or someone that represents those same characteristics of that person. So while it is easier said than done, changing your thought patterns can improve your life. And I don't mean by means of spiritual bypassing, where you are just ignoring all of the bad in the world and just turning a blind eye and pretending that everything is happy. You need to fake it until it feels real. And it's not fake it until you make it. It is fake it until it feels real, until you no longer fake it, but you believe it, because it has become practice, habit. It is now ritualistic. It is something that you have fully embodied. There were many days where I would just come home mentally overwhelmed. The days were long, and that doesn't mean that they were bad. They were just very busy or very emotionally draining, and on a long commute. And I was just kind of fried by the time that I walked into the house. And being a school teacher and a mom, it's almost like you have two full-time jobs, because you have to tend to the children. Maybe you have pets at home, so you need to tend to anyone and everyone who is in your life who needs a piece of who you are. And I just thought that there has to be more than this. There has to be another way to make money while also satisfying the desire to feel good, make a difference, and wake up every day thankful that you're waking up to another day. And so it took a lot of courage to walk away from my teaching career. Ironically, I feel like the nudge has been there for a number of years, but what it took me to realize that I'm not fully walking away from my teaching career. I am just stepping into a different era and a different phase of teaching. I will always be a teacher at heart, and I am always going to be a lifelong learner. What I am hoping to inspire within you by sharing this is that every day is an opportunity for a fresh start. Every day is an opportunity for you to decide that you want to change your life. And the universe will meet you when you make that decision, meaning opportunities will come across your path. The right people will come along. The right conversations will be given to you. The right conversations will be heard or overheard. Sometimes the universe whispers little golden nuggets dropped here and there. And then when it isn't heard, then it might just scream. And what that means is losing a job, getting laid off, getting fired, getting a reduction of force. Maybe you're getting a pay cut. Okay. So something that gives you that red flag that it is time to move on and seek out something more fulfilling. It might be the close of a chapter. So it is important for you to be able to recognize the whispers, meaning the things that come across your path, such as the things that I just listed, but also they're like intuitive hits, little nudges, things that keep coming across your mind or getting brought up in conversations, or you witness it in books, on TV shows. They are little signs that are trying to get your attention. Now, you may be wondering, what do you do with those whispers? Well, one, you listen. It's a whisper because a whisper is an abnormal sound, an abnormal level of your voice. So it is usually used to get your attention. It's important that you pay attention to those whispers. And I would like to suggest that you go within, do some journaling, some meditation, have a conversation with someone that you love, that you trust, and figure out what it is that you want to do. And if you are unsure of what to do, because for me, I was unsure for so many years. I enjoyed my career, but I knew I wanted to do something more. I knew I wanted to make a greater impact. Going back as far as I remember, since I was a teenager, I would journal pretty regularly, and I would always write that my life's purpose was to help people. And I thought teaching was the perfect way to help people. And I still believe that it is. However, I also want to make a bigger impact on more of a global or international scale. That's what having a podcast offers me. I can talk to people from all over the world. And the beauty of also having a community allows you to have that same experience. For example, I was on a call earlier this week and I was in a breakout room with two different women, and one woman was from Australia and another was from the UK. And yet we all had similar stories and similar things that we were working on together. And that is just another example of how the universe will meet you out of a call of over 100 people. And you end up in a breakout room with 3 total women, and we all have a similar desire, a similar obstacle that we may be trying to overcome, or a similar goal. It is just the beauty of the universe that when you let go and you let God, He will bring you to the right people. I want to circle back to the 90% energy, 10% action. This is a short excerpt from Kathy Heller's book that I would like to read with you. Aligning yourself with abundance requires 90% high frequency energy and 10% right action. It's not enough to feel good. It's a big part of it. So do that. And after that, action is required. Have you ever had a moment when you felt fiercely bold? You were just lit. There have been times in my life, like my wedding day or a big event I'm running, when I was in a peak energy state. Even if I hadn't slept the night before, I could be running on 2 hours of sleep and no food and still feel like I was on fire creatively. I had so much adrenaline that anybody put in front of me was met with, let's do this. What makes somebody productive is energy. Just as our iPhones need to be charged, we too must be charged. And when we are charged, we are the single most powerful thing in the universe. As human beings, when we're not charged, we don't get to be conduits for the electricity. We think we're physical, but mostly we're not. We are energy beings. We are soul. We are energetic. And no matter what you want to call it, we're plugged into this source energy. When we plug in, we can make fire. This is why it's so important to be aligned energetically. When your iPhone battery or your car battery dies, it needs a positive charge to turn back on or to turn the engine over. The first step to increase your charge has everything to do with shifting your beliefs from limitation and lack to possibility and increasing the value of your worth. From there, once your engine is running, you must shift the metaphorical car out of park and into drive. If you don't take this intentional action, you cannot move forward. You're still stuck in the parking lot. And again, that is a quote from Kathy Heller's Abundant Ever After book. This is why I'm always encouraging you to take aligned action, to make those baby steps, because every baby step is going to bring you one step closer to your goal. Now, your goals may change, but when you reach your goal, you have such positive feedback. You glow, you feel amazing, you celebrate all of the small wins, and that creates more positive energy, which is like more gas in your car. You have left the parking lot and you are cruising down the highway. I also heard another story this week on yet another call, and I wanted to share it because I thought that it was really beautiful, and it's something that I haven't heard before, and it ties into the message that I'm trying to relay to you now. God is amazing, and He can and will perform miracles. However, we do have to take actionable steps in our lives. We have to make things happen. I'm encouraging you to go within and get quiet, connect to Source, connect to God in any way that you feel comfortable to figure out what your aligned steps are. You cannot, just like Kathy said, sit in the parking lot in park and expect results. The parable that I heard this week is often referred to as 2 boats and a helicopter. Here's a short version of the story as recounted on Psychology Today's website back in 2009. A storm descends on a small town, and the downpour soon turns into a flood. As the waters rise, the local preacher kneels in prayer on the church porch surrounded by water. By and by, one of the townsfolk comes up the street in a canoe. "Better get in, preacher, the waters are rising fast." "No," says the preacher, "I have faith in the Lord. He will save me." Still, the waters rise. Now the preacher is up on the balcony, wringing his hands in supplication, when another guy zips up in a motorboat. "Come on, preacher, we need to get you out of here. The levee's going to break any minute." Once again, the preacher is unmoved. "I shall remain. The Lord will see me through." After a while, the levee breaks and the flood rushes over the church until only the steeple remains above water. The preacher is up there clinging to the cross when a helicopter descends out of the clouds, and a state trooper calls down to him through a megaphone. "Grab the ladder, preacher. This is your last chance." Once again, the preacher insists the Lord will deliver him, and, predictably, he drowns. A pious man, the preacher goes to heaven. After a while, he gets an interview with God, and he asks the Almighty, "Lord, I had unwavering faith in you. Why didn't you deliver me from that flood?" God shakes his head. "What did you want from me? I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter." This is an interesting parable because it reminds us that even though we have faith, it is not just enough to have faith. You actually have to walk in that faith. You have to have trust and you have to take action. You have to follow. So I implore you to ask yourself, where can you take action in your life? Where can you invest in yourself? What is your next right step? I urge you to figure this out. And for the longest time, I was unclear as to what my next step was. Yes, I made little small steps in the direction that I thought I should go in, hence starting a podcast. For example, I actually signed up for the podcasting course through Kathy Heller back in 2022. I attended a few of the classes. I deemed it to be too overwhelming and talked myself out of it, got busy with the hamster wheel routine and put it to the wayside. And then when the universe, or the angels rather, kind of forced me into a predicament, I decided that it was time to stop ignoring all of the whispers and finally just act on what I was being called to do, which is to share my voice, to reach others, to help others, to inspire others. And I hope that I am doing that for you. If you would like to discover what your life's purpose is, or just to gain more clarity as to what it is, I highly encourage you to go to the link tree in the show notes and sign up for an Ikigai one-on-one coaching session with me. Together, we will unlock what your life's purpose is and where you can make actionable steps towards not only just bringing happiness and joy into your life, but possibly being able to make money off of what moves you. I also offer one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in working with me in order to gain more clarity, make actionable steps, and bring more joy and happiness into your life as I am bearing witness, then please send me a message or an email. I will put all of the contact information in the show notes. As a side note, I do want to remind you that there will be setbacks and life doesn't always go as planned. However, if you continue to focus in on the glimmers, there is so much to be thankful for in this life. As of this recording, I am literally sitting in a beach parking lot in Fort Lauderdale. I am heading to a retreat in Boca Raton for the weekend, and I actually recorded this episode yesterday, but for some reason, my voice memo stopped recording and I talked into my phone for about 40 minutes and only 10 of those minutes actually recorded. I felt like I was really into the message that I was giving and whatnot, but God had other ideas for me. So I am currently waiting to pick up a friend from the airport, and I am sitting in front of these gorgeous palm trees with a beautiful blue background sky after it has rained. And there's just a lot of traffic. So if you hear some extra sounds in the background, that's why. With this story in mind, I want to just let you know that you can make your dreams come true. You can make it happen. It does not have to be perfect. And I find that some of the people that are most influential in my life are the ones that are vulnerable and show you who they are as a person. It is so amazing to watch someone grow because not only do you get to bear witness of the authenticity of that person and the vulnerability of that person sharing their life, you also get to grow with them. So if you are interested in growing with me, I encourage you to continue to listen to my podcast, share it, rate it with a 5-star review, and join my free Facebook community, Aligned and Abundant, the Soul Shine Collective. I also highly encourage you to reach out if you are interested in one-on-one coaching or a mini coaching session to discover your life's passion. With that, I leave you with lots of love, and I hope that you have a beautiful, abundant day.